Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I have a fun video for you today. I'm actually going to show you some tips and tricks on how to source inventory for your reselling business online, because check this out. I just picked up a couple packages from my local FedEx, and in here is some inventory that I actually purchased online in order to resell online for a profit. And I have some really cool stuff in here. I'm excited to share it with you, and I'm excited to show you some tips and tricks about how to score awesome deals just like I did with these two packages. The plan for the video today, you are not going to expect what is in this one. I'm pretty sure this is the right one, but a ton of really cool stuff that I got today. But check this out as well. I actually scored a couple of bikes today. Of these bikes were being thrown away. When I left to go to the FedEx store, one of my neighbors was just throwing these bikes away in the local dumpsters. I slid in, asked if I could take them off of his hands, and he obviously said of course. He asked what I was going to do with them. I told him I'm probably going to sell them on Facebook or Craigslist. I said I'm going to clean them up, sell them, and he was totally cool with that. I offered to give him some money, but he didn't want to take it. He was moving, he was in a rush, he just wanted to get these out of his life, so it was a win-win scenario for both of us. Yeah, pretty cool, unique pickup for my business. I don't sell a lot of big items like this, but I'm gonna take my hand in cleaning them up, making sure they work properly, and then try selling them on Facebook or Craigslist. I mean, these aren't gonna be worth a ton of money, but I'm thinking 30 to 50 bucks a piece. You updated with that, but nonetheless a really cool find today, and these were free. Okay, enough of the bikes. You guys are here to see how I source inventory online in order to resell online for a profit. So let's jump right into that. Real quick, I'm gonna open these packages up for you guys, show you what I got, and tell you some tips and tricks about how to get some really good value when you're purchasing inventory online. But before we do that, real quick, I just want to introduce myself, especially if you're new to this channel. My name is Jacob. I own a full-time online reselling business. A lot of the inventory I sell is stored behind me right now. I literally have thousands and thousands of items in these tubs right behind me, and I primarily sell apparel on sites like eBay and Poshmark. It's my full-time income living career, and I've been growing this business for the past 5 years using this YouTube channel to document the growth of my business and trying to help you out along the way with some tips and tricks and learning from my successes and my failures. If you got that entrepreneurial spirit like me, kind of that hustle and that drive, I think this is the perfect channel for you. And if you enjoyed this video or got some value out of it, all I ask is that you hit that like button, consider subscribing. I'm trying to build a super cool community here for resellers and entrepreneurs so we can all help each other. I have big plans and big visions, so if you want to be a part of it, and if you want to be a part of a young man's entrepreneurial journey, this is the channel for you. That's my spiel. My name's Jacob. It's a pleasure to meet you. Let's see what I got in these packages. Okay, I'm actually going to save the smaller package for last because what is in there is extremely cool, and I got some really good value out of it. So let's just start with the big boy right away. Okay, let's get into it. Exactly what is in here, and I'm telling you guys, I got a super good deal on these items, and I think I'm going to make some pretty good profit on it, so I'm really excited to share it with you. Okay, check this out. All right, can you see that? Yep, check this out. I actually got a couple pairs, there they are, of cowboy hats. Okay, super cool. There's also another item in here, but let's start with the cowboy hats. So as you can see, I got 2 pairs of black felted cowboy hats. And how much did I pay for these? Well, this one I paid $18 for. This one I paid $10 for, and well, they all the items in this box came from the same seller, and I actually purchased these items on the Shop Goodwill website. It's a auction style Goodwill website where Goodwill stores will put up some items to be auctioned off online, and I can find some really good deals on there once in a while, just like these cowboy hats. And I'm going to share with you a couple really good tips for finding super undervalued items in just a second. But here we go, 2 super nice cowboy hats. If you've been watching my videos lately, you know I've been selling a lot of Western wear just because I found it such a profitable niche to sell items in. And for instance, this hat right here is actually a wool felted cowboy hat. This was the $10 one. Now, I'm starting to learn all about cowboy hats because I'm selling them more and more. Wool is a desirable textile to sell when it comes to hats. This hat should be able to fetch over $50, $50, $60, maybe $70. It's a really good size in terms of hat sizing. This one is 7 1/8 diameter, and that's a really common size for hats. I have high hopes that this one will sell pretty well. It's from a company called LHC Brands, made in America. It's an old hat. It's the Riviera model, but nonetheless, super cool hat. I should be able to sell that pretty quick, but the special one is right here. It's actually this Wrangler cowboy hat, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see, but on the inside of the brim, it actually states that this hat is made out of beaver. Yes, beaver, not wool. You know, wool like that would come from a sheep, but an actual beaver's pelt. Now, when you get into animal pelts turned into hats, specifically cowboy hats, that is where you're going to be able to get some of these seriously high quality hats that can sell for tons of money. Beaver hats, they can sell all the way up to like $5,000. Now, this is not a $5,000 hat, but this hat is probably worth over $100. I'm going to have to do some research on it and figure out just everything about it before I get it listed. But I'm pretty confident that this is going to be a $100 to $200 hat because it's made out of that high quality beaver pelt. And when you're looking at high quality hats, beaver and mink, sometimes rabbit, from what I understand, are going to be your higher quality hats. Wool is going to be kind of the bottom of the barrel, still a desirable textile, but getting into animal pelts is a fantastic way to look for high quality hats. So there you go. These two hats costed me a total of $28, and I'm pretty confident I can get about $250 to $300 worth of value out of these hats, and they're in super good condition. I'm super happy with this pickup, but there's still another item left in this box, and it is actually this vintage, let's check here, yep, Woolrich wool coat. Now, if you've been a viewer of my channel for a long time, you know one of the big components of my business is actually selling woolen coats and woolen garments. I've kind of had a fascination for woolen garments for a while now, just because it's a super traditional textile. This stuff is extremely rugged. I mean, this jacket is probably from the 80s. Check that out. It's the old Woolrich tag, and it still looks like it's in immaculate condition. This stuff just holds up. It's the test of time when it comes to textiles, and wool is extremely sought after for a lot of its properties. It's kind of like nature's tech fabric. It's antimicrobial, it's moisture wicking, it keeps you insulated when wet. It's just a super interesting textile, and there's a reason why woolen garments are so expensive. This jacket is kind of the same style as what is called a Filson Mackinac Cruiser, made by the Filson company, and that jacket now retails for over $500. Obviously, I won't be able to sell this jacket for $500, but this jacket is probably worth upwards of $100 just because it has a really good style and color, and it's in fantastic condition. Now, I only paid $10 for this jacket, so again, another extremely good find. Now I'm going to sprinkle in a tip on how to find some really undervalued items when you're purchasing things online. For instance, this wool coat was actually just listed as a regular coat. It didn't have wool anywhere in the description, the title, nothing. But I knew from the woven texture, I had really good faith that this jacket was 100% virgin wool. Once you actually get familiar and hands-on with items that you know are extremely valuable, just like this coat, you will be able to identify things in the pictures listed online that the seller probably doesn't know about or didn't include in the title and the description. And that's a great way to extract value out of items, because to them, this was just a coat, you know, a run-of-the-mill coat. But to me, I knew this was a wool coat. To them, it was only a $10, just, you know, run-of-the-mill classic gray jacket. But to me, I knew it was a heavy-duty wool coat with a very reputable brand name in a style that can sell for a ton of money. Here is another really good tip, especially when it comes to these hats. Now I'm just going to use this kind of western wear cowboy hat as an example, and the tip is actually to have a deep understanding of certain niches. Now, for example, this hat is made out of beaver. This hat is made out of wool. To the discerning eye, you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference, or you wouldn't even know that there's a quality difference between the two. So the seller, when they listed these, they just thought a hat was a hat was a hat. But to me, now that I've learned that there's a big quality differences in what hats are made out of, I was able to look at the tags online that both of these hats were extremely valuable and one was extremely undervalued when it was listed. This is just kind of a PSA to pay attention to the details. Make sure you have a good understanding of the items that you are selling, because you can use that as leverage to find killer deals online. The last tip before we jump into this really cool package that I'm excited to open is to actually try to find items from the same seller online. Now, all three of these items came from the same seller on the Goodwill website. They came from the I believe the Montana Goodwill store. So I purchased all three of these items on separate auctions. And what I did after I purchased these items, I just simply said, hey, I know all three of these items are coming from your store. Can you please bundle them into one package? And maybe we can work out a shipping discount, or maybe you're just willing to ship it for free at that point. So I just got a killer deal on shipping, and I didn't have to overpay spending on shipping and having 3 packages shipped separately. So it takes a little initiative on your end, but a lot of times sellers are willing to either give you discounted or free shipping if you're buying a lot of items from their store or from that particular seller. Right, let's move on to this super cool package that I am very excited to open. This is going to be, if it's as good as I think it is, we got a super cool deal on our hand. All right, get this opened up. Wow, okay, check this out. Do you see that? Holy cow. Very, very cool. Okay, let me explain to you what this is. Let me move these back in the box. Right, so in this box are actually belt buckles. Okay, I actually made a YouTube short about belt buckles not too long ago, and talking about how some belt buckles can be extremely valuable. Okay, I'm gonna keep on pulling these out and showing you while I talk, but as you can see, these are all vintage rodeo belt buckles. And as you can tell, every single one is brand new in the packaging. They all range from the 80s and the 90s. Now, here is the cool part about this deal. I only paid $58 for these, and I got 17 of them. Yes, that's right, 17 belt buckles for $58. Now, when it comes to this particular purchase, I believe this was just a classic case of the seller kind of undervalued an item. These are all still in the plastic wrapping. So, you know, I'm just totally speculating. I have no idea about the details of why this person was selling it for so cheap. I'd like to believe that when things like this kind of come up on the market, it's typically, you know, in a state that is passed down to somebody, or somebody just trying to liquidate stuff, or someone is just trying to liquidate something that they have no real emotional connection to, or really don't have an understanding of the value of it. And this is just a good example. I do have some saved searches online, so when stuff pops up, I will be able to be kind of one of the first ones to hopefully notice it. But nonetheless, these belt buckles, man, this is just crazy. Like, check this one out from 1987, still in the original packaging with the original pamphlet on there. National Finals Rodeo. So I kind of do a daily internet search on some of these saved searches in the niches that I really like to sell stuff in, hence these belt buckles. So a listing popped up early. I actually bought these on Macari, and I just threw an offer in. I bought them, and here they are, $58 for 17 belt buckles. So, you know, it does take a little luck once in a while to find good inventory from the internet in order to resell, but persistence goes a long ways, and being consistent goes a long ways. If you search every single day, you know, and you compound that over 365 days a year, you're obviously going to harvest some results from that, just like this. Now, when it comes to the value of these belt buckles, they are not the most valuable belt buckles in the world, but I actually was just at a belt buckle store in Estes Park, Colorado, a really cool kind of vintage style Western store, and they had a lot of these National Finals Rodeo belt buckles. They were asking between 40 to 60 bucks for them a piece, and again, they were in brand new condition, just like these ones. I think they were a little overvalued at that store, kind of a little tourist trappy, maybe a little bit, but I think a good value would be, depending on the buckle, about $20 to $40. So if you look at this, I mean, that's almost $400, $500, $600 in value I got out of this $58 deal. And then if you add on the cowboy hats and the jacket, you know, I'm really only paying about $4 per unit of inventory that I got in today once you average out all the costs, which is extremely good, especially when it's super high quality inventory just like this. And a matter of fact, it only took me a couple of clicks to get this stuff to my house. Well, I actually picked it up. That's another hot tip, I suppose. If you don't like waiting for stuff to be delivered to your house when you're tracking it, you know, when it's out for delivery, it usually takes 5, 6, 7 hours from the time it says out for delivery till it gets to my house. A lot of times when I know a package is at the FedEx facility, I will just have them intercept it, and then I will just go over there and pick it up personally, because it's literally a few blocks down the road from where I live, so I can save a bunch of time that way rather than waiting. So another quick hot tip, I suppose. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to unbox this stuff with you and give you some tips along the way. One last tip when it comes to belt buckles: some belt buckles can fetch thousands of dollars if you know what you're looking for. I have yet to come across one that is that expensive, but I know companies like Montana Silversmiths, a super renowned belt buckle making company. And then also, if you come across some belt buckle that talks about having some sort of silver or gold content on the back, typically those are the ones that can fetch a ton of money, typically jewelry prices. So just a quick hot tip and a good thing to know if you ever come across belt buckles in the thrift store or the flea market or online or whatever. It's just a good thing to know. All right, so that is it for today. I'm gonna leave you with that. Tell me what you think about the belt buckle purchase. I think these are just so cool, and they're all in the packaging, vintage belt buckles. But it's starting to get super windy out here in my storage unit, so I'm gonna cut it short before it gets too bad and the audio just gets all messed up. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope my tips were valuable, and I hope you enjoyed watching what new inventory I got from the internet. So that is it. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the day. In the meantime, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys again. Peace.